One of the newest vehicles in our fleet, Battalion 52, is a 2023 Chevy 3/4 ton truck. Think of it as a command post on wheels, with several custom modifications to meet the needs of our district. Battalion 52 has room to take command of a scene from inside the vehicle or in the back, and also has ample compartment space, scene lighting, and specialized tools. To learn more about the rig, here's District Chief Jamie Denison, who drives Battalion 52 during B shift.
Hi, my name is Jamie Denison. I'm District Chief with the Arvada Fire Department. I'm in Battalion 52, which is the center of our district, and we want to go through the new command vehicle that we've got in service for almost a year now. All right, so one of the beneficial features about this vehicle is that it allows us to provide a bigger incident command capability presence on larger scale events. And so battalion chiefs generally respond to the more complex events for the fire department, like car accidents, structure fires, wildland fires, technical rescue events, and those types of things, where they need a larger command presence and organizational structure with accountability and those types of things. And so this vehicle was built to help us enhance those features. And so one of the things is that having a larger back compartment, it allowed us to get everything out of the cab, which allows us with basically seating for 4 to 5 people. So on those larger events, when we do have additional command support to help organize and run the scene, we have a way to get into a vehicle with seating and for everybody, a quiet environment so that you can hear all of the radio communications and do those sorts of functions. And so as you can see, like both the front and the back are completely clear on the cab with open seating. We do have the MDT providing call locations and critical information for those types of calls. We do have 2 radios for these vehicles that allows us to monitor 2 channels at a time. They're both UHF and VHF capable, so we can pretty much, as long as we've got your radio channel in the system, we can pretty much talk to anybody in the Jefferson County area. All right, so we'll go ahead and go through the back compartment. And so you can see with this design, it's got large open doors and a large storage area. And so one of the things was to get all of our bunker gear and personal protective equipment out of the cab, opening up a seat in there, plus getting any potential contaminated gear or anything into a back compartment so it's not contaminating the areas where the people are at. And so we've got all of our different PPE gear, our wildland gear, our structural gear, and then we also have the ballistic gear if we end up on any sort of active shooter event or any need that we would require that. Our swiftwater gear, PFD in the throw bag for operations on any swiftwater rescue calls. We do have the thermal imaging camera, and then a large charging bank so that we can keep all of our radio batteries charged, flashlights, thermal imaging cameras and stuff like that. And so even the crews on scene, if their batteries start to run low or anything like that on their radios and stuff, they can come into here and we've got extra batteries that are already charged and ready to go. We also have a new Knox box system, which if you're asking what a Knox box or a Knox key is, it's basically a key to the city. This provides us with access to any required commercial building that has like a fire alarm system or a sprinkler system that's required by the fire code. We have to have access into that building for after hours access. And this code or this box is enhanced access. So we have to put in a code to be able to access and get the keys out of this to be able to lock it. This information also goes back to JEFCOM so that they know that our key hasn't been replaced or anything. So again, another kind of double check feature so that if we left the Knox key in our bunker gear or something like that before we even leave the scene, we know that that hasn't been returned to its appropriate locked position so that we keep those safe. The entire back cab has got enhanced lighting all the way through, so that if we do end up moving incident command from out of the cab and back here on those larger events, we can operate day or night. All of the lighting and everything and function to the back of the cab has got its own battery system, even to the fact that this can front feed the front batteries. So if we end up on a long-term incident and the front batteries die for whatever reason, I can hit an override switch and we can start the vehicle from the batteries that are in the back of the cab unit. I've also got our SCBA, so in the situations where I do send a command presence inside of a hazardous environment to operate and work for a span of control, we've got the SCBAs for the battalion chiefs, and each one of those brings their own SCBA bottle. A fire extinguisher for obvious reasons, and then a small storage compartment. We do have the capability of jumper cables that plug into the front of this, that's shunted so we can jumpstart a stranded vehicle or something like that, but it's shunted so that it can't backfeed or damage the electrical system on this vehicle. Moving around to the back, you can see as with all of our rigs, we've got the high visibility chevron to indicate to oncoming traffic that, you know, there's an emergency vehicle up ahead. It's just a lot easier to see. We also have directional arrow lights, so if we do need to direct traffic to the right or to the left, we can just turn on the switch on the inside to be able to do that, which are also on the bottom rail of this compartment. So if we are using the command center back here, we can have the directional lights up here. And so this is one of the bigger features of what this truck brings to the scene, is just a larger ability for more complicated incident command type scenarios, where I might be dealing with mutual aid companies and multiple different agencies responding in to take notes. You can obviously see I've got multiple dry eraser surfaces, including a pull-out dry eraser board, and then we have maps. So we've done target hazard map areas for all of our WUI wildland urban interface areas, with command maps that are also QR coded, so that if another agency's coming in, they can just scan that QR code and it'll download that map to their phone or tablet so that they can actually be running live on scene. And those are in a system that, as they're making indications and marks and doing things on those maps to show progress and hazard areas and stuff like that, it's real time, so it shows up and populates on all of the maps at the same time. And so we can tilt this up and have it, we've got a writing surface here, and then obviously there's extra storage and everything back here for all of the additional maps and everything, so that it keeps everything nice and organized. Plus there's additional storage areas both in the compartments for just different reference materials and additional map books, water department map books and stuff like that. We do have the two radios back here that basically are in line with the ones up front, both UHF, VHF compatible, so I can talk to two radio channels, or at least monitor two radio channels at the same time. We do have an older BK radio. We do have a function of running the BK radios now on these, but this is a backup, or in case we need to distribute out radios to anybody else that's responding. Moving over to the passenger side compartment, again, a full gull-wing door that opens up to a large compartment. As I was mentioning earlier, you have a dry eraser board that pulls out. It can go out either side, and it's got the dry eraser board on both sides, plus magnets. So if I needed to put other maps or sheets up here to just keep organized and all of that information on those larger events. Just nothing but a cooler with water, and then electrolyte packs. And then we have a lot of smaller EMS gear and stuff in this compartment. And so up top is pretty much oxygen tank. We do have a bag of supplies to help for individuals that may have autism. There's some equipment in here that can help try and calm or decrease some of their symptoms and make them a little bit more comfortable and easier to talk with us, so that we can try and figure out and help them in whatever type of situation that they've got. We do have our MCI bag, which has just got additional equipment inside of there, so that if we do end up with multiple patients or stuff like that, the ambulance crews know that they can come and grab these bags off of the BC vehicles or our SAM unit to obtain some additional supplies when they're on scene. So we've got an AED. It's obviously just an AED and not the full cardiac monitors that our ambulances and engines carry. And then we also have the cyano kits we use for any firefighter or citizens that is exposed to smoke. Cyanide is one of the more toxic byproducts when you're exposed to smoke, and this helps the system just excrete some of those products and get it out of your system a little bit faster, and so we can administer those. As far as the middle shelf goes, basically just additional PPE gear, so that if somebody damages anything on scene, we can get them a new hood or gloves. We also have just extra t-shirts and stuff in here, so if people, when they are leaving the scene and they're deconning themselves and getting out of all their bunker gear and everything that's contaminated, they can also get some extra t-shirts and stuff like that, so they can get rid of their undergarments too if need be. We do have a number of products that we purchased more recently for consideration with electric vehicle fires. You know, it's a newer technology that everybody is kind of struggling to figure out what is the most effective and easiest way to deal with these new hazards. And so, you know, fortunately we don't have a ton of these events, so we've only got a couple of these products purchased, and they're carried on Battalion 52. But we do have a electric vehicle blanket, and so if we are concerned about exposures or other things around that vehicle, we can use this blanket to either cover that so that it eliminates some of the heat and everything to the exposures, whether that's inside of a parking garage or vehicles parked next to it and stuff like that. We do have a chain system that we can use to hook up to the vehicle and potentially move it away from those locations with other exposures or hazards. And then a nozzle. These two connect together, and it's basically nothing more than just an undercarriage nozzle that we can use to slide underneath the vehicle and help cool the roadway surfaces and stuff like that, if not extinguishing the fire, which is extremely hard to do just because it's extremely difficult to get the water to where the fire is burning inside of these battery packs. This can help with exposures and protection of exposures and stuff like that. You know, and then just some other arbitrary stuff. We've got helicopter landing gear lights and stuff like that that we can put out into the field to help them land, scene tape, some tools for hitting hydrants and stuff like that. We do have in this little side compartment tire chains, so that if we do have extremely snowy conditions or anything like that, we do have the ability to put tire chains on. Plus we have a hitch for the back for the few trailers that we do have in our district, boats and stuff like that that respond to emergency scenes with trailers. Not that it's my primary mission to go and get them, but you might need it to move a trailer and stuff like that out of the way. And so that pretty much covers the back compartment and all the equipment that we carry. But again, the nice feature is that it basically moved everything out of the compartments up front in the passenger compartment, so that we can fit everything into the back.